I stepped outside our marriage and shattered the only man who ever saw me completely. He didn't yell, didn't fight. He just walked out the door and came back a stranger. 5 years married, 3 kids, 1 toddler, 2 newborns. Chaos, sleep deprivation, endless tasks. He worked long hours. I worked from home, half-employed, fully drowning, feeding twins, scrubbing bottles, glued to a cycle of survival. Somewhere along the line, I vanished. I wasn't a wife anymore. Barely a person. Just a vessel for milk, for chores, for exhaustion. He was trying, still cooked, still cared for the kids. But we were roommates in crisis, not partners in love. Then, on a rare solo outing, I ran into an old classmate. A familiar face in an unfamiliar place. It started as coffee, then came the messages, then came the betrayal. One night, while my husband gave me space to breathe, I gave myself to someone else. The guilt hit like a wave in the shower. I swore it would stop. It didn't. I kept texting, kept lying, kept escaping into something that felt like freedom. Until the other woman found out and dropped the truth at my husband's feet. When I walked in, he just said, "We need to talk." That was it. No explosion. Just a quiet implosion. He left that night with a single bag. Came back the next day, but never really returned. We're in the same house now, but not the same life. He won't touch me. Won't joke. Won't meet my eyes. He's polite, mechanical, a co-parent, not a partner. And I deserve it. I told him everything. No sugarcoating. I cut off the affair. Blocked every number. Begged him not to leave. For the kids. For us. For the life we built. 2 weeks ago, I asked him to talk. He broke. This man, who never cried, who wore strength like armor, crumbled in front of me. He said he spent his entire life believing love was a lie, that no one stayed, no one was safe, until me. I finally believed someone wouldn't hurt me just because it was easier for them, he said. Now I know. Anyone will, if it suits them. That wrecked me. We're starting therapy, a specialist in family trauma and infidelity. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even expect healing. I just want to try. People say I'm making excuses, blaming stress, kids, body image, but I'm not. I own this. I wanted to feel seen, desired, like I was more than a tired mother, drowning in spit up and resentment. I wanted both worlds. I wanted to cheat and not get caught. That's the brutal truth. Now I live in the ruins of that fantasy. He still asks if I need groceries, helps with bedtime, makes dinner. But he doesn't look at me the same. The love is gone. The warmth is gone. And yet, last night, something small happened. My favorite waffle truck came by. I hadn't mentioned it in months. He brought one home, left it on the counter. No note, no words. Just a memory. It crushed me, because that tiny kindness, that quiet, unspoken act, reminded me of who he was and who I used to be. I don't know if he'll ever trust me again. I don't know if I'd forgive me either. But I'm in therapy. I'm rebuilding, not just for us, for myself too, because if I ever want to deserve him again, I have to become someone new. Unlike many, you seem to grasp the gravity of what betrayal actually means. You shattered the trust of the one person who believed in you the most. You don't get to demand timelines or outcomes. All you can do now is show up consistently, take accountability, and respect his space. His occasional kindness, that's not a sign to press forward. It's not a green light. It just means he still has a heart. Your job is simple but brutal. Repair your character, apologize like your marriage depends on it, because it does, and let him decide the next move. 2. Those who offered hard truths, shared resources, or just extended compassion in recent weeks. Thank you. I've been trying to hold myself accountable, day by day, because I know I inflicted serious damage. The private stories some of you sent of trauma, healing, and hope have grounded me. They've reminded me not to rush or romanticize what lies ahead. Life has been full. 3 young kids, including newborn twins, a full-time job, midnight feedings, and back-to-back therapy. I haven't posted much lately, but I didn't want to vanish. Many of you have followed our story, and this healing process isn't just mine to narrate. My husband might share his side soon. I've encouraged it. If it helps him process, I want him to feel heard, even if it draws criticism toward me. He deserves his truth, unfiltered. Therapy is relentless. It makes you stare at the parts of yourself you spent years denying. I see now the extent of my selfishness, the escapism I clung to instead of facing discomfort. I failed to nourish the marriage, and when it began to strain, I reached for external validation instead of stepping up. I'm trying to rebuild something meaningful, for him, for me, for us. I'm engaging in the relationship now, not just reacting to it. I plan dates, arrange childcare, cook dinner, create space for rest and connection. It's not a performance. It's overdue ownership. We're slowly rekindling a kind of friendship. That may sound small, but after all the wreckage, it means everything. We've had a few lighthearted moments. We walked together, got ice cream with the kids. It's not what we had before, it's something new, fragile, but real. The hardest part? Romance, affection. He's not ready. No physical closeness, no, I love you. He sleeps in another room. I miss that bond, achingly so, but I won't. Push him. I forfeited the right to seek closeness. If touch never returns, I'll live with that. His healing matters more than my comfort. There are difficult days. Sometimes he withdraws completely. Sometimes we share a laugh. I hold on to those glimmers, but I've stopped clinging to future outcomes. I'm trying to simply be present. I know I'm the one who broke it. I cleared his debt as a gesture, not redemption, just responsibility. I'll keep showing up whether he forgives me or not. If he posts his side or our situation shifts, I'll keep updating. For now, I'm grateful for the strange safety this community provides. Update 2, the one I never wanted to write, he's filed for divorce. Some of you will say, "What did you expect?" And I get it. I shattered something sacred. I don't need reminders. I carry that weight every waking moment. Still, this hurts more than I imagined. Despite everything, I believed we were healing. Therapy was ongoing. Our friendship was tentatively rebuilding. He was distant, yes, but present. I mistook that for hope. I thought that if I stayed committed, if I kept growing, he might meet me halfway, but he never planned to. He told me the pain of staying was too deep, that every time he looked at me, he saw someone unrecognizable. A liar, a betrayer, a woman who rewrote their history. He said he couldn't pretend anymore. I'm devastated, not just because he's leaving, but because he never gave us a shot at real repair. I understand the mistrust. I earned it, but I found resources. I read every guide, followed every step, sat through grueling therapy, changed habits, owned my actions. I fought like hell, but he didn't. He let go, as if none of it had ever meant anything, as if our children, our history, our promises weren't worth saving. That's what breaks me most. Now I think about the little things. Late nights on the porch, writing letters to each other after the kids went to bed. His first, "I love you." The steady warmth in his voice when he used to say my name. All gone. I know people will say this is my consequence. And they're right. I betrayed him, and now I live with the loss. But I think it's still okay to mourn what we could have been if we had truly tried. Both of us. Maybe the day he found out, something inside him died. And no matter how much I grew, I was always chasing a ghost. We have 3 children, Co-parenting, finances, the emotional strain, I have no map for any of it. My life is collapsing and I can't stop it. I know I'm not the victim, but I'm still human. And I'm drowning. After we moved into a better flat, thanks to a bit of help from 11, I met the first boy I ever adored. He was a year younger, rough around the edges, couldn't read well, but he had this quiet goodness in him. I was smitten. Back in secondary school, I'd come out, barely, to one or two trusted friends. Secrets like that never stay secret. Word got out. My sister found out. No one else knew, just the boy I liked. My mother collapsed into sobs, blaming me for ruining my father. But he was the one who attacked me. Drunk, flailing. He could have seriously injured me if not for sheer dumb luck. When he staggered to his feet, I didn't run. I stood over him. I didn't grab the carving knife like my mind suggested. Instead, I looked him in the eye and calmly told him this. Next time, if he ever tried that again, I'd kill him. I said I'd push him down the stairs or slit his throat while he slept off his whiskey. I don't know if it was the look in my eyes or the dead calm in my voice, but he believed me. Something in him knew it wasn't a bluff. And more than fear. I think it was shame. He couldn't bear the idea of people knowing his son almost beat him. My mother told the family. They called me wicked, dangerous, ungrateful, mad. Oddly enough, that helped. They kept their distance after that. The beatings stopped. A few quiet weeks passed. I decided to reach out to my sisters. I asked them, gently, if they ever felt unsafe. If he ever crossed a line, I said I wasn't sure. I lied. I was sure. I needed to know. If it was abuse, I had to do something. They acted shocked, denied everything, said nothing like that had happened. Then they twisted it. They said my mother was cruel to my father, withholding love and affection. They hinted at things without saying them, and I was jealous. Jealous of affection I never got. Jealous that maybe they were chosen, not me. My eldest sister threatened me. If I ever mentioned what happened, what I asked, she said she'd tell Dad I was gay. She knew exactly what that meant. He would kill me. Nothing was said after that. Not for years. I stayed in school, determined. I knew without family support I wouldn't reach the universities I dreamed of. Most of my teachers were kindly, but always condescending. I had to lower my ambitions, final year, last term. A brutal stretch of exams loomed. I'd secured extra money from Uncle B to take A-level ancient Greek. Everything rode on 3 exams per subject, 3 hours each. That was my gateway to university. Then the final grenade. My mother announced her cancer had returned. I still marvel that she pulled it off. The day before my first exam, she was admitted to hospital. Dying, they said. Terminal, no hope. The family was plunged into mourning. I wasn't allowed to visit. The next day, she came home, frail. She claimed there was no cure, no time left. I was told, in no uncertain terms, that I would stay home. I would not sit my exams. I would be her caregiver in her final days. Even Uncle B believed her. He urged me to delay the exams, retake next year. Some teachers even agreed. It might be for the best, they said. University would be too hard for me anyway. I was crushed, but I stayed. We sat in silence. I listened to her sob and beg forgiveness. She said she couldn't die knowing I still hated her, that she was the true victim, that my failures, my unnatural ambitions drove my father to drink. I waited 2 weeks. I kept telling myself, when she dies, I leave, but she recovered. As if by miracle, she bounced back. The family rejoiced. They even held a Thanksgiving Mass in her honor. My father drank himself sick from the relief. And then it fell apart. A cousin. One. of my father's, pulled me aside, said something I never expected. She never had cancer, she told me. She had thyroid disease years ago. They removed it. She's been pretending ever since. I froze. I couldn't disprove it. But I believed her. Confront her, the cousin said. Tell her you're going to the hospital to ask the doctors. If she's lying, she'll crack. So I did. First, I went to my father. He broke easily. Said my mother was selfish, addicted to drama, but needed help. Therapy. I agreed. Then I faced her. The moment I suggested speaking to the doctors, she collapsed. Not physically, emotionally. She spiraled into excuses. Nothing made sense. She blamed me. Said I was cruel for chasing dreams of university instead of staying to care for her. That was enough. I packed that hour. I had no money, no plan. Only one. Place to go, Cousin G's. He welcomed me without hesitation. I stayed with him 3 years. We shared a flat. At first, even a bed. One night, I told him about my childhood crush. He confessed that he'd once had disturbing thoughts about me, but never acted on them. He was honest. And he'd never hurt me. We talked about our family, about the silence, the darkness. I'll never forget what he said. In this family, incest and pedophilia run like tap water. He wasn't exaggerating. Our grandfather, older cousins. It wasn't just whispered. It was real, confirmed, and ignored. Why no one protected me, I'll never know. I supported myself, took night classes, found out I could apply to university without my parents. I worked, planned, saved for years. At 21, it finally happened. I cut them all off, even Uncle B. He kept trying to patch things up, but I had to protect myself. G kept my location secret. We lived modestly in Earl's Court, but for the first time, I lived. He took me to opera, theater, pubs. We shared meals in places I'd only seen in films. He helped me get a passport, taught me how to live. I'd always loved French. So we went to Normandy, took a ferry, camped. It sounds simple, but to me it was rebirth, the beginning of my real life. 15 years passed. Then out of nowhere, my cousin found an old Yahoo email. She reached out, asked if I was still me. I replied yes, curious. She wanted me to meet my eldest sister, reconnect. I thought about it, said yes. Within minutes of our reunion, I knew it was a mistake. My mother was there too. They asked why I left. I laughed, told them the truth. They denied everything, said my father never hit anyone, that he was a light drinker, that my mother heroically beat cancer, that my childhood was beautiful, that I ran away for a gay lifestyle. So I left again. Later, I wrote them a letter, told them the only way I'd speak again was if they admitted the truth, that my father was a predator, that my mother manipulated me. They never replied. My cousin stayed in touch for a while, sent me kind emails. Then one day she confirmed what I always knew. The abuse didn't stop, it kept happening. New victims. Same family. And that was it. I was done. If you've made it this far, thank you. If any of this felt too familiar, if you've been betrayed, blamed, or burdened by someone else's sins, you are not alone. Take notes. Take care. Get help. From a friend, a therapist, a lawyer. Above all, protect your peace. Protect your children, and if you've ever learned something you wish you hadn't, share your story. Sometimes your voice is the one thing another person needs to feel seen.